faster, a little faster than that.
Look at it, I'm making bubbles.
Yeah, it is making bubbles, isn't it? A little bit of what? Oh yeah, like I'm looking at the plants. Are they pretty?
Yeah, what is this?
The time is almost upon us now. It is almost the beginning of June, which means I'm about to start my new life as a full-time writer and content creator. And it's time to actually start planning what that's going to look like, how I'm going to get everything done, and do a little bit of a sample plan for like general weeks, general months, and also plan out my first month as a full-time writer. If you are new here or haven't seen my announcement video, my name is Madeline James and I'm a fantasy writer and world builder, and I now have 2 channels, this one and then my Madeline James World Builds, where I've moved all of my like world building, conlanging heavy stuff. But we have had an interesting turn of events where, due to the amount of time my kids are out of school and sick, they're both pretty young, and we've used all of our leave, so much leave without pay this year, like we just can't keep having my husband and I both working in the office in software engineering jobs. We can't do it anymore, which has opened up an opportunity for me to instead turn to this, where I am going to start publishing and doing content full-time and running a Patreon and everything to, you know, live my dream life while also covering all of the stuff with my kids in terms of 6 days and when they're off of school and stuff. And it'll just be the best thing for our family, and it's incredibly exciting. So it is time to figure out what this is going to look like. Now, you would have already seen in the like clips I filmed, but my daughter is downstairs right now. She is homesick today. Just to give you a look at this, right? This is my second to last full like week at work. And on Monday, both of my children were homesick. Today, my daughter is still homesick. I just got back from urgent care with her like an hour or so ago. She's fine. It's an ear infection. And then my son's school is closed on Thursday, and then my son's school and then my daughter's daycare are closed on Friday. So, optimistically, I will have a 1-day work week, and that's it, which is ridiculous. I don't know how people do this. But anyway, she will hopefully not interrupt us, but if she does, I apologize. So before we get into this, which I have a lot of notes and thoughts, I want to share 2 quick cool things. The first is this book that I got, which is The Ultimate Guide to Rebuilding Civilization, which is very interesting, but it sort of talks about if society collapsed, how do we do everything? So it talks a lot about the history of like how we first invented things, like flipping through like glue and duct tape, how we first invented photography, power plants, like how all these things kind of work. There's sections on the military. There's a whole section on pigeon mail, which like, it's so cool. And it's this like beautiful book. It's gorgeous. It has all these diagrams, and I thought this would be a really, really helpful way to kind of just understand from a writing perspective, because I do write books that are set in less technologically advanced societies, right? More late Middle Ages is normally the equivalent time period of my worlds. And having this information, like explaining how early coffee was made, explaining like what exotic fruits were, early surgery tools, like there's sections on medicine, there's how to make rope, how to find water, like if you have like an adventurer or something, they would know how to do this, right? So you could include it in your book. I don't know. I'm really excited about it. I haven't spent too much time looking through it, but I'm really excited to use this as a writing resource. So yeah, I'm excited. Second thing is this giant dragon. Look at him. Can you even see him? Hold on. Ugh. And he is huge, like, he's ginormous. It's like, a dragon reading pillow, and I bought this, I think I ordered it like almost a year ago, And they accepted like a round of pre-orders to make these, and then it took forever because like they hand make them all, and like it was way more orders because obviously why wouldn't a bajillion people order this? And you can curl up in it and read. And I'm so excited, and I just wanted to show you. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to cover over some basic information first, and then I will switch over to like a top-down thing where we work on actually planning it out. But I have some notes here, and basically we have 2 weeks, right? For less than 2 weeks. We have like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, to get ready for this. And I am so, I don't want to say worried, I don't want to say apprehensive, but like I am very aware of the fact that this is going to be hard work, right? Like I am starting a business, sort of starting multiple businesses at the same time. Like it's the same business, but like, you know what I mean? It's going to be a lot of work. And it's going to be very different than what I do now. It's going to be a whole different lifestyle change, and it's going to have to be a lot more flexible than I currently do things, because I'll be covering every time my kids are sick, every time, you know, they're home from school. I won't be alternating with my husband. I can't just be like, I have a meeting today, so you need to cover, right? Like, it is all me, unless it's an emergency, right? But like, it's all me, so I have to cover that. And I don't want to take advantage of this opportunity that I have. Like, I really want to be successful. I really want to get to do the things I want to do and everything. So like, I have a lot of pressure that I am putting on myself to do this correctly. And I'm also, well, thinking about all the things I need to do and want to do, and am committing myself to that it's a lot of work. And if I don't figure out how to be smart with my time and how to structure it in a way that's going to work for me, it's going to be a problem, right? And the other thing to note is that I am very aware that this is going to be very flexible, where once I get through the first couple of weeks, even the first month or two, I may have to adapt as I learn more about how this works for me. So, in flux. So for figuring out my new schedule, I've kind of gone through a few different things. I've written down some general notes of things I need to keep in mind. I have written down my priorities, like in what order they are. And then I've kind of just like worked through what my available time will be and that sort of thing. And then I can start figuring out what this will actually look like. So for notes, right? Obviously I have to cover sick days. I have this written down, so I'm looking at it, but I have to cover sick days, any days off for school. I can plan for days off school, but not for sick days. Obviously there's times of year that the kids are more sick than others. Like once September hits, from then until March, it's going to be awful. So I need to plan for that, and I also need to plan like a sample day of what that might look like if I have a sick kid home, and what it might look like if I have kids home from school. Because if I'm intentional about it, it's easy to work around, right? Like there are a lot of tasks that I can do around my kids. Like my kids love to lay in my my love sack here and watch like a movie because I have a TV there. So they can lay here and watch a movie. I can put my earbuds in and I can work. Obviously I can't film when they're in here playing TV. But like there's a lot of stuff I can do like that, and they still get the attention and comfort they need. Like there's just, I have to be intentional about it. Second thing is I have ADHD, and so task switching can be hard. So I'm going to need to just factor that into when it's going to be easiest for me to like change certain activities, and trying not to like change focus. Like if I'm doing like a different task every 10 minutes, that's going to be a problem. So I need to kind of try and like batch similar things that will, once I kind of get started on one, that motivation will carry me through all of them. Also, I need to factor in some cleaning and exercise time. Cleaning is part of this arrangement. So I have that. And then I need to build in flex time, because I might lose time for, again, kids being sick and being home and having to take them to doctors and having to pick them up. Like I can't be scheduled so tightly that I can't lose time, because I am going to lose time. That's the whole nature of this arrangement. I'm going to lose a ton of time. So I need to be flexible and have that built in. And then, yeah, sometimes I have other events that I need to remember that I have commitments to as well, because that takes time. For example, I'm going to be doing a workshop for the AuthorTube writing conference, so AWC, which is at the end of June. I need to prepare that presentation, obviously. Like that's another commitment I'm going to have. So yeah, that's kind of the notes that I have. And then for my priorities that I've written down, my top priority is obviously my children. I have to cover sick days and times they're at home, and while there will certainly be times where I'm like, I need to film this video and get it out, here are your tablets, just sit downstairs in the living room and veg out for an hour or two while I do this. Like, yes, there will be that, but also I want to try and optimize, like, keeping them engaged and doing stuff as much as I can. If I have a task that I can do downstairs at the kitchen table with them, well, like helping them color or work on letters, I want to do that. I want to be like taking them for walks instead of maybe my solitary exercises, like stuff like that. That is my first priority. My kids have to be taken care of. Second priority is Patreon. And that is because for a while that is going to be my main source of income, will be Patreon. And all the money I make from that is going to support everything else. I have saved up a bunch of money to kind of kickstart this process, so I have the money for a little bit, but I need to start building up like my Patreon and stuff to be funding my publishing and funding like other expenses. I have like equipment and subscriptions and like Epidemic Sound and StreamYard and all that stuff, right? So I'm actually getting paid and I have like obligations to the people paying me to do those things. So that's my second priority. Third priority is going to be my writing schedule. And obviously these are going to be the most long-term tasks. So to an extent, week to week, this is going to be a little flexible, especially if I am staying on top of things. But like the whole point of this, like, right, my core passion, dream, whatever, is writing. I love writing. I want to publish books. I want to be an author. I want to like that's why I'm doing all of this, right? So that needs to be a priority just for me, because if I start losing that, then everything else loses meaning. And that's not what I want. My fourth priority is going to be my YouTube channels, like on a weekly basis. Like if I need to get a video out, that'll be my next priority. And then my last priority is going to be health and exercise. And I know you're going to say that should probably be a higher priority. However, if at all possible, I do not want the stuff that's work to go into my after hours time, right? Like part of the joy of this is that I'm going to have time to spend more time with my kids and with my husband and doing things I enjoy and staying on top of the house and like hanging out with friends, right? And so I want to preserve that, and doing exercise and taking care of my health, other than like some requirements like stretch breaks and stuff throughout the day, I can do those in the evening if I need to, right? Like I can be like, oh, I'm going to do yoga. Kids, do you want to do yoga with me, right? Like that's fine. So that's my lowest priority. And so that's how I'm going to kind of strategize making this schedule for what might need to get shrunk in order to make time for the higher priority things, right? Like it's going to be a lot. But okay, that's priorities. So let's switch over to a little planner setup so that we can talk about my available time, start thinking about how I want to organize things, like a daily schedule, and then start thinking about all the tasks I have to do. Yeah. All right, so our first question really is, what time am I going to have, right? Like, what are my days going to look like from a blocked in perspective? But first thing that we need to look at is, what is my day going to look like? And in general, I expect to be back from dropping my kids off around 7:40. And then I expect to have to leave to pick them up around 4. If I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's about my day. And so things I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to like eat breakfast, maybe get a load of laundry started in the morning. But I'm going to plan to have that done by like 8. I don't normally have a big breakfast, so I don't think it'll take very long. So like we'll say 8, I'm ready to go. And then I have to leave at 4. So then the other thing I want to do is in the middle of the day, I want to stop and maybe for like an hour and a half, we'll say, stop to have lunch, to work out, maybe shower, and like put away the laundry I start in the morning. And I'm thinking that an hour and a half is enough time to do all of that. And like, again, I can be flexible if needed. So we'll just have to see. But so that leaves me a 3.5 hour block here and 3 hours here. So that's kind of like 2 days. And because I have ADHD and like task switching is hard, doing this break here will be really good for switching my focus. And like when I'm like exercising or having lunch, like I can listen to podcasts or, you know, YouTube videos or like whatever I want to do to help get me in the mindset for this next part. So I think that'll work out where I can do 2 different things in the morning and the evening. Something I've also noticed is the morning is the best time for me to write, because then I'm not tired, my brain isn't thinking of something else, and I really need like a clear, fresh brain to write. So I think what I'd like to do is just reserve this whole morning period every single day to do my writing, my editing, my revisions, everything that involves like my direct work with my writing projects. And also I'll include in here like filming, like writing videos, because those are almost always involved with my writing. So like if I'm vlogging, obviously I will be filming the vlogging as I'm going. If I'm writing a video or filming a video about like, you know, this is my dev edit feedback, right? Like I can do that during my writing time. It's all within that same kind of task block. So I think that's enough time, and I really want to reserve a lot of time for writing because again, it takes a lot of time. So that leaves me with these afternoon blocks to basically do everything else, which just like from here is only 15 hours a week. Obviously it'll usually be less. So the question is that enough? Do I need to take some of this time away? Like what's going to happen here? Going down my priority list, obviously like kids I can't really like plan for in this sort of a schedule. So the next thing is Patreon. So for Patreon, what I'm committed to is basically Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. I'm going to do a like live, either a stream or I'm going to do the World Building Club. So that's all Patreon stuff, which doesn't affect this. But then I'm also, and this is every other week, and then I'm also going to, on Fridays at noon, that's what my first poll told me, I'm going to do my streaming / club thing. And this will be every other Friday. I'll do the club meetup. And then on Thursdays at 2 p.m., I will have my Patreon world building stream. So that kind of takes up those hours. So I think I can sort of account for those on Fridays, probably by moving up this block of stuff to have that done by noon. So like maybe I start at 11 and I only give myself like 45 minutes. Like I do a lighter exercise, that sort of thing. And then I have my club meetup and then I'm done at 1 most days I will expect, unless it gets like really big and then, you know, it'll take more time. But if I'm done at 1, then that preserves my block here. So then the Thursday block will obviously be in the middle here of 2 to 4. So that's 2 hours. And so what I could probably do on Thursdays is, again, try and maybe have that be a lighter exercise day. Like I take it lighter Thursdays and Fridays, every other Friday, to accommodate this. And so then I can still have maybe like a 2-hour block. Because 1 hour isn't long enough to do anything for me, like with the way my brain works. So we'll say Thursdays, what that will look like is I'll have from 12 to 2, I'll do something, and then from 2 to 4, I will stream. And then from Fridays, you know, every other, we'll do, let's see, 12 will be done, 12 to 1 will club meetup. Yeah, so I think that makes sense. So I also have some general like administrative stuff that I'll need to do. Like there's some little onesie-twosie stuff like setting up the streams and setting out the links. I think I can do all of that in like my little morning time or my lunch time. Just like if I sit down and do a couple small administrative tasks just to kind of wrap those up. But then the big monthly things that I'm going to need to do, like sending out like the updates and everything like that, I'm just going to, I think, have that part of like a monthly admin. So there'll be monthly admin tasks with that. So then the next thing I have is YouTube, right? Which YouTube, I'm going to have 2 channels, my writing channel, my world building channel, and my weekly videos for my writing channel, I don't expect will take much time because I'll do all the filming up here. So I'll just need like maybe like 2 hours per week to edit my writing channel. And then I'll just need time to work on my world building channel. And I'm sort of thinking I'll try to get out a big guide part every month, maybe every 2 weeks. So like maybe have like a big video once a month and then like a smaller video once a month, and then have like other little smaller stuff and my conlanging streams and stuff like that. So maybe I'll say like 3 to 6 hours per week. 3 to 6 hours per week for my world building videos. That'll have to include time to like post it, prep it, do all that kind of stuff. It might take a little longer than that, I'm not sure, but we're gonna have to track as we go. I think the first month I'll track everything so that I can make a better plan next time. So after my YouTube stuff, then I have like general admin things. So admin stuff, we obviously have the Patreon, but then I'm also gonna have to do a monthly newsletter. I'm gonna have to do content batching, which I'm going to be doing with my sister who does like social media marketing and advertising stuff, like that's her job. So I will be paying her and trading some work. I'm going to help her from like an organizational administrative perspective for her stuff in exchange for some of this help. Plus I'll have to pay her extra because like she's probably going to spend hours a week on this, just like batching content. And so she'll tell me what I need to put together. So she said to expect maybe like 3 hours every other week. So we'll say fortnightly for that. And then I will also have to respond to emails, general stuff like that. My monthly Patreon post. I'm going to have to track like business expenses / income, which will probably be like an hour or 2 every month. So then like miscellaneous stuff, right? There's always going to be other things, like I'm going to need planning time. I'm going to need time to do like research, both for like craft research for writing and also research for like, you know, making videos and Patreon and like world building research, right? Like I want to constantly be improving, so I need to have time for research. And then obviously I'm going to have all the like publishing stuff and all that little side stuff that I'm going to do. But this is kind of a high level look at all the individual like consistent things I have to do. So there's a few other, there's a few other things. Every other week, I need to have some time to do a side work task on the side. So this in of itself is kind of a little bit rough. So I think what we can do is like every week, I will have, right, like 5 of those blocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So every Thursday, right, I'm going to have that stream. And so I'll have a short block in front of it. And honestly, that 2 hours might be a good amount of time to be like editing my rights content. So we'll say rights. Let's say Friday is going to be a good time for like business / miscellaneous tasks. So that'll be things like working on my website, working with various people for my publishing, working on formatting my books, like all of that miscellaneous business stuff we'll say is on Fridays because I feel like that's a good way to end the week. So then we're still going to need 2 days, maybe 1 to 2 days for world building videos. So let's say Monday and Wednesday, we'll work on those videos. And then let's say Tuesday, every other week I need to do a side work task. And then the other time I can do the content batching. I know this is pretty unreadable, I apologize, especially because he's focusing on my hand. But yeah, so I feel like that looks okay. So then I still have all the administrative tasks though, but I think for the most part, I can just batch those to do once a month. And I think I could either do that like in place of one of these if I have time, or I can probably spare to sacrifice 1 writing session at like the end of a month to get all this stuff prepped. So we'll say that I'll do this like in a morning, and I think that'll work relatively well. And I think this will let me get everything I want to get done, pending how long everything actually ends up taking, which I won't know until I start doing it. All right, hopefully this is somewhat readable, but I have written out kind of a high-level calendar for June, and so far I've just really put on the tasks that I for sure know that I'm going to have, so like stuff off my calendar. So I went ahead and put in all of the scheduled Patreon streams, which I've made them this like, which mark did I use? I think this one, this like purple color for Patreon. And then I put in my world building guide, or world building YouTube conlanging streams here. I have selected a few other colors, put in some personal stuff just for me to schedule around. And obviously this is June. So the other things I need to keep in mind are obviously like kids' schedules. So the 12th and the 13th are half days. So I have to keep that in mind for scheduling around. And then also on 19th, the kids will be home for Juneteenth, so I have to account for that too. But other than that, in theory, my kids should be in school or daycare the rest of this month, pending being sick, which is always, you know, a fun surprise. All right, so going through this and just adding in other things that I know need to happen that aren't on here yet, I am participating in a conlang relay, and I am going to have be working on it on the 4th and the 5th. So like basically all day when I'm not doing other stuff, I'm going to be doing that relay. So I can just add that in here, basically literally all day. So yeah, so I'll have that. That'll fill up both of those days. I'll still do my stream, obviously, but other than that, I will have absolutely zero free time. So that's one thing. I will also need to, and let me put this over here of like lists of tasks. I'm going to need to film the relay video afterwards, which I'm not going to be in a huge rush. I don't think the relay is going to end until sometime in July, so if I have to put that off, I can. And then I'm also going to film like vlog footage while I do it, so I'll need to edit the relay vlog footage as well. So those are 2 tasks I'll need to do. And then the next thing is that, let's see, we're losing this for family time. The 27th, so Friday, and then this Saturday and Sunday, so June 27th to 29th, is the AWC conference, which is just the AuthorTube writing conference, which is going to be across the weekend on various YouTube channels. So I am doing a presentation at 4 p.m. So I will probably have to have like either pick up my son early or something, but at 4, I will have my AWC presentation. And that'll be on my writing channel, I believe. Yeah, I think that'll be on my writing channel. So I'll have that. And I think that's everything that's on my actual calendar right now. So then it's just a question of like other tasks. Let's go through the like lists of things that I'm going to need to do. Let's start with writing. So for my writing, I'm going to be working on Magic Forged Book 1, Draft 2, or Draft 3. And that's what I just got the revisions back on, so that's what I'm working on right now. And so once I finish that, I'm going to send that to betas. Probably like beginning of July, I'll hand that over to beta, so I'll need to prep that. And then I will move to working on Magic Forged 2, Draft 1. And I don't know if I'll actually get to that. Like, I might just get to that at the very end here, or I might not, but that'll be my next task. So I'll have to, like, as I'm planning this out for the actual writing days, figure out what pace I need to make to finish this by the end of June. Because my big goal is going to be send to betas probably by like July 1. I also have a critique read that I need to do that I'm exchanging this with, so I need to do a critique partner beta read. And that'll take, you know, some time. I'll probably do that on my vacation here. And then by July 21st, I want to start Book 1, Draft 4. That's kind of what would put me on track for when I would ideally like to publish that, which will be crazy. But I think that's all my like writing stuff. So then for my writes, ideally I want to do like a vlog every other week and a video every other week. But like, again, my whole thing with my writing content is to just kind of go with what I'm working on. So what I would expect to have probably is that first week. So like week 1, it will probably end up being a swords like interview. I've already filmed this with my friend who's like a swords expert, and I just need to actually edit it. So that'll be easy for me to get up probably like this day, because I'm going to be super busy. So then the second week, I'll probably do a timeline projection where I sit down and like work on and show you what my timeline might look like for publishing, and like how long I think I'm going to spend editing, revising, etc., and like lining everything up to get like a book out, I think every 9 months. So I'll do a video on that, which means I would need to film that if that's coming out the second week. That would need to I need to work on it this week, right? So then the third week, I think I'll probably have like going live my first full-time vlog. Which, because of the shenanigans of this week, I don't want to vlog this week because it's going to be so weird. And I'm going to have like solar people here. So I think I'll film that this week, and it'll be my first vlog week, showing like my first full like writing week, because this is going to be messy. And then I think the fourth video is just going to be, I'm going to have that AWC presentation. So that'll be, I'll have to prep for this. So that'll be like extra time. And then my world building YouTube. I think I'm not going to have anything coming out this first week. I do have that Conlang stream. But the second week, I'll probably have, I'm not going to get into details of what these are, but I'll probably have a scenarios video coming out. That'll be a small one. The third week, I'll probably have my big world building guide video, which is going to be the Age of Discovery. And then the fourth week, I'm going to have an announcement thing that we won't get into, but I'll have to do the video for that. Miscellaneous stuff, and this is going to be like mostly publishing things other than like the typical monthly stuff I have to do. But I'm going to need to send cover design packet. I've already booked a cover designer. I just need to finish sending them all the information, which will include the titles. And I need to get that done in June. I want to set up metadata storage, which will just be helpful for publishing. That's something I learned taking Publish and Thrive with Heart Breathings and Sarah Cannon. So I also need to have a meeting with my mom to properly set up all my like business accounting stuff and make sure that I'm tracking all the right information for taxes and everything like that. So I need to do that. And then my other big task for June, if I get to it, is I need to redo my website and my video outros. And this is just to have everything like my website is going to need to reference the fact that I have 2 channels and that I'm going to have to make room for like publishing content of my books to start coming out. I'm going to need to reference my Patreon, like just have it be really easy to access for people that are readers or writers or world builders. And then I'm going to need to update my video outros for both channels to reference all the appropriate things. So that's obviously can be pushed, but that would be a good thing to get done. And I think that's all the general tasks I need to do. So let's add in those like other required things real quick. So I'm definitely going to need to have that every other Tuesday thing, which I think is going to be the 17th and the 18th this month. I think that's when I'm going to do those. So I will just put that here. And then so those mornings will be writing. So that kind of covers that. And then I put an admin block here for planning for the next month. So we'll just say planning, because I think that'll be a good time to plan for the next month. So then other tasks, I don't think I'm going to start doing content yet in June. So I don't think I need to actually put in the weeks where I don't have this content batching. So I think I can leave that out for now. Although, who knows? Maybe I'll want to do it anyway just to get started. So let's go ahead and say this afternoon block will be content batching. Which for me just may be doing like research on what kind of stuff I even want to do, like that sort of thing. So obviously I'm losing some time here. I could do some stuff this weekend, but I don't think I'll really have time. I'm losing this afternoon here. And Friday afternoons were going to be my like business miscellaneous tasks, so like this stuff. So I'm probably going to need to find different times to do that. I can definitely do it here, so let's go ahead and say here we'll have business miscellaneous. And let's see, we can't do it here. I, in theory, could do it here before this presentation, which I feel like my presentation should be ready. So let's add like a little bit of a block here, a little bit shorter for business miscellaneous. And then I can stop a little early to prepare, and I'll probably need to get my son early and get set up and everything, because I'm going to do that, I think, live with stuff for that. So I'll need to do that. So business miscellaneous. Thinking about this business miscellaneous time, realistically, I don't think it's enough to fully redo my website. I might work a bit on my website in like other times, like, because that's an easy thing I could do like on the couch in the morning while the kids are watching TV or something. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. This is all very up in the air. So the relay, it's not technically part of my world building YouTube, but like all the videos for it are going to go on YouTube. So let me just put that here, because that's going to be very busy. And that's also these tasks. All right, so this is already starting to look really messy to me. And it's an overwhelming thing to think about. But we have Patreon in here. That's all this purple for the most part. We have all the kids stuff in here. So basically how this is going to work on these early dismissal days is I'm just going to have to go pick the kids up. So like, I think basically right in between my haircut and my world building stream, I'm going to need to go get my son from school. And then here I'll pick him up afterwards. Right? That'll be good. And then here I'm just going to have the kids home all day. So I will have less time. I'm not sure entirely what that should look like, but I'll probably have less time than usual this day. So let's just say I have a little bit of time for editing. And I'll have some time for writing on this day. And then I should have full mornings here, which I think I can do. Let me add writing there. And then theoretically I could do something else this day since I'm losing 2 afternoons. Like maybe I need to do an afternoon task here, right, to catch up on things. For writing, let's start with these videos first. So I want my scenarios video to come out the second week, which would be around here. So I want to work on it the week before. And I also want my timeline projections video to come out this week. So timeline projections, I think honestly that video is going to take a hot minute. Actually, now that I think about it, this scenarios is going to be a live stream thing, I think. Or I at least need to be getting feedback from people somehow. So I need to schedule this. That's going to be a big thing. So if that's this week, then I can probably either do it, I could probably do it at like 2 this day. That would probably be a good choice. So I'll do that then, so I don't need to work on it this week. And then I will need to work on my timelines project this week, which I think would be a good Friday task. Like after working on this relay, I don't think I'm going to have the brain space to do a lot of hardcore revisions. So I'll probably on this Friday work on that timelines video as sort of a little break, and then I'll do business miscellaneous stuff. And I think that'll be fine. I definitely want to be doing my writing these 2 days then. I think that'll be important. So then I should have, I'll probably use both of these days for world building work then, potentially? Do I have any other like world building video work, which would be working on this one? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, so I think that fills this up. So that means my timelines video will be ready for this week. My scenarios live will go ready this week. I will definitely need to work on the world building guide video this day if I want to be ready in time. And I might even, since I want it to go out, I think like this day. Did I want to do both of these days? Let's look. Monday and Wednesdays. But I'm probably going to need to do some other editing too. So timeline video will be done here for this week. So then for this week, I need my first full-time vlog to come out. So I'll need some editing time this week probably. So I can probably fit that in here. Okay, so if I'm filming my vlog this week, then on Friday I should be able to edit vlog. Yeah, right? Edit vlog, right? And then the next week, I'm going to need to be, I guess, probably prepping for my AWC presentation, which I'm definitely going to need a decent bit of time to do. Honestly, that's something I could probably work on a bit this day, so we'll just say AWC work, because I can work on that downstairs with the kids to an extent. And then I'll also need to work on whatever video is coming out this week. So we'll just throw in here, YouTube edit, something I filmed during this week, right? It'll probably be like a revisions video, like a revisions vlog of some form. And I think that'll be everything for here. And then I'll probably have another swords video come out the week after this. So I'll need to do some editing of that video. Maybe I can edit both of them, or maybe I'll have to like edit 2 videos here. I'll have to figure that out so that I can handle being off this week for the most part. So that should cover my writing YouTube, which let's cover that in. So we have our timelines video, editing the vlog, editing there, editing there, and then AWC work right there. And then for YouTube world building, we have, let's see, world building guide video, scenarios live. The video I'm working on for this week should be pretty simple. So I should be able to do that in like one afternoon session. So, well, this will be the announcement video. That'll be really easy, which means these 2 days I can keep working on the world building guide. I might take this one day to not work on that and to do something else, since I'm losing this afternoon and this afternoon to kind of make up for that time. So I think otherwise that covers my world building guide stuff that I have to do. So the things that I've left is I need to work on my AWC presentation more, and I'm going to need to work on more of these miscellaneous tasks, and then obviously I have, let's do work on the next world building guide video here real quick. Yeah. So then I'll have writing all of these mornings other than when I need to do the AWC presentation, which maybe I work on that here, just to keep prepping that. We could do some final AWC presentation work here, which I think is good. I'm trying to decide if I need to give up another writing morning in order to do a little bit of like content batching or stuff like that, like have a flex time, which I think would be probably pretty good. Well, no, because I'm going to need to prep for this week. So I'm going to need, let's take this whole morning. And we're going to basically say prep next week, and that's just getting everything that I would normally need to do this week, and we'll just cram it in here extra as well. And then I think everything else can just be writing time. And then I can do some time this week to work on things. Mostly I'll be getting ready for this, so I might do some Coach Partner read. So let's put in, and this isn't like the days aren't super specific, but let's say we're going to do beta read, 2 mornings here, and then let's say maybe we'll do some outline prep. amongst these days. So outline. I don't know if I'll actually get around to that, but maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll film a vlog this week. That would be fun. But this is vlog. So I'm going to vlog this week, vlogging this week. I think that looks reasonably balanced, like I can get things done, which kind of surprises me, but I mean, here we are. Let me tidy this up real quick and then I'll show you the final thing. All right, so I think this looks pretty nice and complete. I want to, if this is, no, that looks really similar. Let's go with red. And this is essentially going to be my like health, exercise, whatever time at home. So that should sort of be what that looks like. And then we'll be leaving there. So I think this will work. It's definitely like not as structured and consistent every week as I was thinking it would be when we were working on that like weekly schedule, but it gives me something good to start with that I can then work through and sort of adapt for what I need it to be. But I think this will let me get everything done. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to go and take all of this and put it on little like all my weekly pages in here in my planner and just get it all prepped. But I need to figure out how I'm going to handle like my weekly planner, because right now my planner has like pages like this, right? Where it has the days and it has the weekends and like stuff at the bottom. So like I can do like fill these out and maybe that'll be enough, but I also need places where I'm going to log everything, which I don't know where I want to do that next. But this also has like, in addition to the month, you have like a planning page for the previous month and the next month. So I might be able to do logging there, or I can use it like in one of these back pages, which they just have like, you could use this for daily planning or notes. So I'll have to figure that out. I might end up doing like an on the board Kanban type thing like Sarah Cannon does. I don't know yet. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, let me know, because I need to stay organized. But yes, so I'm going to work on doing that. And yeah, if you have any thoughts or questions, let me know. If you want to see this kind of content more in the future, let me know. Like if you want me to show my planning every month, I can do that, right? If you think it would be interesting. Or I could just like do more of a quarterly update once I get more in the flow of what this is going to look like. I have no idea, but I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. It doesn't feel real yet. I'm sure this first few days, first week is going to be incredibly emotional and tricky. But hopefully by the time we get to the second week and I vlog it, it's going to feel real, but we'll see. I will catch you in the next one.